we are gonna do a full face of Glossier today because I have been seeing that video pop up a lot and I thought I would partake in it because I actually have quite a few Glossier products. However, I don't have everything. So this first part of the video is going to be a little online shopping on Glossier.com for some products that we need to complete our full face of Glossier. So I thought it would be a good mix of kind of showing you my thought process on the Glossier website and then also doing like an actual application of the products once they arrive. Glossier started shipping to Canada probably a year ago now, and one of the popular questions I still get about Glossier is how to place an order to, I guess, a Canadian address. So we're gonna go through that now. So first things first is you gotta go to Glossier.com. If you have not placed an order yet on the Glossier website and it's your first order, or you're maybe using a different email address, which I have been known to do, I will leave my referral link down below. So you can get actually 10% off your first order, and I end up getting I think like $5 or $10. Anyway, I do a lot of my online shopping through my phone, which I'm sure most of you guys do also. So of course, the phone is gonna look slightly different than a desktop, but not that much. So first things first, if you are in Canada, you gotta make sure that you are shipping to Canada. So at the very bottom of the page, they have a few countries that they ship to. So Glossier currently ships to obviously the US, Canada, UK, Ireland, and Sweden. I heard a rumor through the Glossier Instagram page that they're gonna be shipping to France and also Quebec later this year. So as of right now, which is June 24th, 2018, Glossier ships to everywhere in Canada except for Quebec because of the packaging requirements. In Canada, especially in Quebec, you have to have both English and French because we are a bilingual country, and I guess they haven't quite figured that out. But since they're going to be shipping to France later this year, they'll probably have that all sorted out by that time. So you just gotta select your country and then it will change over. So not only does the free shipping requirement change, so it goes from $30 to $40, but also all of the prices on here are changed to the Canadian dollar, and also there's a little bit of a bump from the US pricing to the Canadian pricing. We always have to pay a little bit more, and they blame it on the time and effort it takes to get that product to Canada and also the foreign exchange rate. Anyway, moving along to the purchase. So currently I have quite a few products from Glossier already, but there are a couple of things that I want to pick up. For example, the 2 new cloud paints. I saw that there's 2 new cloud paints on their Instagram page, and I definitely want to pick them up. So what I like about the Glossier website is how you can get things in like bundles. So you can get like the phase 1 bundle or the phase 2 bundle, and then they also have other bundles, like you can get 2 cloud paints and save a bit of money. You can also get 2 lid stars and save a bit of money, and I think they have like a Haloscope and Brow Boy combo. But there's lots of little bundles that you can pick up, so if you are interested in a couple of products, it's best to go that route because you do save a little bit of money. So I'm gonna go with the Cloud Paint Duo because there's 2 new cloud paints that I want, and that way I can save, what is it, like $5? So the first shade is Storm, which is a warm rose. I also really like that on the Glossier website, they show images of the product on different skin tones. So that's really helpful for if you're trying to decide whether something's gonna work for you. The other shade that I'm gonna pick up is Dawn, which is described as a sunny coral. So it's brighter than Beam, which I already own, but I think I'll really like that color. Plus, if it's too bright, you can always mix it with other colors or maybe even Beam and like tone it down. Again, that's one of the things I love about the cloud paints because they're so flexible and you can just like mix and match to however you want your blush to look. I also want to pick up the Perfecting Skin Tint because again, haven't tried this yet. I haven't purchased it. I only have the Stretch Concealer, and I have been wanting to try the skin tint. I mean, I did just pick up the Dior Face and Body foundation, so I really don't need any foundation. But I've heard a lot of people really like the skin tint, and it's also a product you can mix in with your other products if you want to sheer them down a little bit. They only have 5 shades, but what I hear is that these products are so sheer that the shades are flexible. So you don't have to be the exact shade match. You can be like a couple shades darker or lighter, and then it'll just kind of all blend really nicely together. So I am dark in the concealer, so I figured I would just get dark in the skin tint also. So I am also going to add that to my cart, $32 for that. I don't think that's a terrible price. The new Benefit Be Happy, So Happy, whatever that is called, little foundation is like $38 for an ounce of product. This guy is 50 bucks, but this is actually 1.6 ounces, so it's slightly more product. Now, moving on to a lipstick. So I actually don't know if I want to pick up the Generation G lipstick. I heard a lot of good things about it, but I got a lot of lipsticks kind of floating around, so I don't really want to add another lipstick to my collection. I probably will pick one up eventually, but I'm kind of like lipsticked out at the moment. But however, I need a lip product. So what I'm gonna do instead is pop over to the skincare and pick up a Balm Dot Com. They have a bunch of different flavors, but I am just gonna pick up the birthday one because I like the little hint of shimmer. I actually don't have any lip balms or glosses with that hint of shimmer, and I think I would like that. So I'm gonna pick that one up. It's $15. If you pick up 3, they have like this little Balm Dot Com trio where you get 3 and you can save $5. But I don't need 3, so I'm just gonna get the birthday one. And then lastly, I'm also going to add the solution to my cart because I've heard mixed reviews about the solution. The solution is an exfoliating skin perfector, and it's supposed to be really good for if you have texture or blemishes. So I figured I would give it a shot. If I don't like it, maybe I'll just use it for my body because I feel like it would be a good exfoliator. These are all the products I have in my cart right now. I happen to have an account with Glossier, so I am just going to type my information in here. If you don't, you'll just have to start a new account. So then you just enter in all of your shipping information. Like I said, I already have an account, so all of my stuff is saved. You're going to choose a delivery option. You can either go for a standard or expedited. So standard is usually free if you meet the minimum shipping requirement, which is $40. You can also go expedited and spend a little bit money for shipping, but I find that the shipping is relatively quick anyway. It takes about 5 to 7 business days, which I'm happy with. So I just basically go with standard. I never pay extra. So then you get a summary of your order and you can pick a free sample. So I always just get the Glossier You sample because like I said, I like the fragrance, but not enough to actually buy full size of it. So here is a summary of my cart. Now, for some reason, they started charging duty. For the last probably 4 orders that I placed, no duty was charged. And it's so weird because the duty is $2.08, and I was kind of like playing around with it earlier, and it doesn't matter how much you spend. If you spend $50 or $100, you're still only paying $2.08, which is super odd. But the sucky part is you have to pay tax on the $2.08, so it's whatever tax is in your province, but for me it's HST, which is 13%, so I'm paying $2.08 plus 13% tax on that, plus 13% tax on my subtotal. Like I said, I have no idea why they started charging the duty, and I have no idea why it's $2.08, but it seems to be like a flat duty rate. So there's that. I happen to have a $10 Glossier credit, so thank you to whoever used my referral code. And yeah, so basically you just place your order and that's that. So I placed my order and now it's just a waiting game. So we'll see when the products get here and then we will do a full face of Glossier. Look what arrived yesterday. It is my Glossier order. It took, I guess, about 5 business days for it to get to me. It got to me on the Friday. I placed the order on the Sunday. I know you guys already know what's in here, but the fun part of getting mail is to unbox everything. So let's do that. If you have ever gotten Glossier mail before, you'll know that they have very beautiful packaging. So there's always like a pink lining to the inside of the box. They also have these like really cute Glossier stickers that they use, or tape, I guess, that they use to seal up the boxes. And then of course you get your quintessential pouch. Now my pouch, I've already actually opened this, surprise, surprise, but my pouch actually already broke. So sometimes these are not the most sturdy thing in the world. This is actually the large one, but yeah, there's like a little tear on mine. And this is the second one of this size that has torn on me. Just right here where the seal meets the closure. Anyway, let us talk about the stuff that I got, and then we will do a full face of Glossier. So like I said, I've already opened this and I've already tried one thing in here, and it was the solution. But first I will talk about the Glossier U sample. So like I mentioned, I like the Glossier U fragrance, but I don't know if I like it enough to commit to a full-size bottle. So I always just get the sample size of the Glossier U fragrances. So normally the Glossier samples come in a little, typical sample like this. However, this Glossier U sample came on a card with this little peel sticker, and I've already obviously opened it up and used whatever amount of product that was on there last night. So this is basically just like a one-time use little sample. So that brings me to the realization that I might just have to pick up a bottle. Moving on to the haul portion of this video. As you guys know, I picked up 2 of the cloud paints. So these are actually the new cloud paints from Glossier, the Perfecting Skin Tint, the Birthday Balm Dot Com, and then lastly I also got the Solution, which is an exfoliating skin perfector. And I've actually already used this once, so I used it last night, and of course one-time use, there's really nothing I can say about it, but it is fairly gentle in the sense that it did not irritate my skin. Sometimes if I use acids, my skin might be like a little bit red or irritated. I didn't experience any of that with this. I do really like the packaging though, so very cute, that Glossier pink, and I also really love that it comes with this like pump. So before we get on with the face, let's talk about my collection of Glossier products here. So first of all, I now have a Perfecting Skin Tint. So now I have a base to go with the concealer, the stretch concealer, which I love. I also have the Wowder, and I actually got this in light medium because I just felt like maybe the second shade up would be a little bit too dark. I now have a collection of 5 different Glossier cloud paints. The only one I'm missing is in Puff, which is the pink one, and the only reason I didn't get that is because I just felt like the pink was too cool tone for me, but maybe one day I shall pick it up. But we have Beam, Dawn, Dusk, Haze, and Storm. I have 2 of the 3 Haloscopes, so we have Topaz and Moonstone. We have 2 Glossier lid stars. This is Moon and this one is Cub. Cub is definitely my favorite. 1 Birthday Balm Dot Com. The Glossier Boy Brow, and this is lovely. It's in the shade Black. And then of course, one of their newer launches, which is the Lash Slick Mascara. So this is my skin bare. I have done my skincare routine in terms of my essences and my moisturizer, but I have not put on an SPF yet. Now Glossier does have an SPF, but they are not bringing it to Canada. I saw it on their Instagram page. I don't know if they've done a formal post about it. However, it is super hot today, so I cannot go out without an SPF. So I'm gonna be using this one from Indeed Labs. It is their In Defense 30. I've used this several times this past week and I really love it. It is like a really lightweight moisturizer kind of SPF. It has SPF 30 in it. It feels like a moisturizer. It's super hydrating on the skin. So this is what I am going to put onto my face because, I mean, you have to have SPF, especially in this weather. What I like about this is you can see it's kind of giving me like a tint, like a little purple tint, but once I actually blend it out, it blends really nicely and that purple tint goes away. Okay, let's go in with the Perfecting Skin Tint now. This is a very fluid base. I swatched it a little bit yesterday, but I didn't actually apply it to the face, but it is so thin and watery in consistency. I actually quite like the packaging too. I was really worried that it would be too easy to squirt out product, but it actually distributes product really, I guess, conservatively, so you don't end up squirting a whole bunch onto your hand or to your face. So this is super, super fluid. It has such a sheer coverage. So as you can see, I am blending in like quite a few drops, probably like 4 or 5 drops onto my skin, and it is literally disappearing. But it's also giving my skin like just like a bit of, maybe luminosity is the correct word. It's not covering up all of my blemishes on my cheek here, my cafe au lait. It's letting my skin peek through. I'm going to do kind of another layer, or another half a layer, just to see how well it builds, because I don't really feel like it did anything. But at the same time, my skin looks fresher, but without any like coverage. This product is definitely not going to be for everyone. If you are used to like a full coverage beat, then this is gonna be a no-go for you. I wouldn't say that you have to have perfect skin to use Glossier products. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but as long as you're comfortable with your skin, then it's fine. So that is a full face of the Perfecting Skin Tint. What do we think? I honestly don't see any coverage, but like I said, it just makes my skin look more fresh without covering any of my spots up. They do have a concealer though, so if you are looking for a little bit more coverage in certain areas, then that's what the concealer is for. So I'm in the shade Dark in the concealer, and I really love this concealer just because of how like easy it is to apply. It's definitely much creamier and softer than other concealers I've tried in the same kind of packaging in a pot or a jar. This one is definitely more of like a satin finish on the face, and I really like it. It's not as long wearing as the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, but I still do like really enjoy using it. It's so easy to apply to the face or to the skin. It does cover up a little bit of the blemishes, like if I put it over my blemishes on my cheek. It does a decent job at covering it up. It's not, again, like a full coverage type of makeup, but if you are patient and you kind of blend it out a little and build it up a little, you can get the coverage that you're looking for. I'm really impartial to covering up my blemishes. I actually typically don't bother, only because I'm lazy. Maybe that's why I like Glossier, because I feel like Glossier is like the lazy girl's makeup, in the sense that everything is just so easy. You just like slap it on your face and it works. You don't even have tools. Like so far I've only used my hands and everything has still blended out quite nicely. Anyway, I'm going to blend out the concealer as best as I can, just with my fingers, and then I'll actually go in with a beauty blender just to kind of make sure that I don't have too much product on my face. So I just have a damp beauty sponge here, and I'm just gonna take it along and just dab it all over my face. So I'm gonna use some of the cloud paints. Now I really love the cloud paints. I think they're super easy to use. They're super easy to blend. I'm gonna swatch these two new cloud paints because these are the two that I want to use. I might even just mix these together. Now you do have to be careful when you're squeezing product out from these tubes. It just has like this tiny little spout, so it's super easy to squeeze way more product than you want to. So this one is Storm, which is like a really beautiful kind of deep berry shade, and then this one is Dusk, which is like a bright, beautiful coral. They're super stunning on. I think I might just like mix these two together. What do we feel about that? How does it blend out? It's actually not bad. It's kind of like a terracotta shade mixed together, which is really pretty. I'm just going to take a brush to blend that out. That's really pretty. I actually really like blending out the cloud paints with a brush. I'm always worried about getting it on my fingers and like touching my white top. So I figure if I use a brush, then it's less contact with the product, and in turn, I might get away with not getting any on my clothes, because I'm very clumsy and forgetful like that. I have the tendency to apply way too much blush, so don't mind me as I continue to pack it on. Moving right along to the Haloscopes. I really love both of these shades that I have. I am tempted to get the only one that I'm currently missing, which I think is Rose Quartz, but I'm very, very happy with the two that I have. I really didn't think I would love the Moonstone one as much as I do, because it just feels like it's such a like pale white highlighter that I wouldn't enjoy using it, but I actually really do like using it. Topaz is definitely more of like a warm bronzy shade, but both of them actually are really nice. And sometimes, like today, I mix them together and then apply them to my cheek. So the Haloscopes, as you can see, don't give your skin like a really bright, blinding highlight, but it does give your skin like this really beautiful, dewy sheen that, especially when the light catches it, looks really pretty and almost like natural without making people think like you're a dewy, greasy mess. Now for the eyes, I love the Glossier lid stars. I think they are great. They are definitely for people who like a bit more of like a glossy, shimmery looking eye. Obviously they're not matte. I really love the shade Cub. It's just like really beautiful rose gold, and I just basically apply it all over the lid. I was using Moon on its own on my lid, probably when I first got these lid stars, but sometimes it can look really ashy on the lid. I don't find that happens with Cub. It's definitely my skin tone because I have a medium skin tone. Like I'm a NC35 typically. I'm probably an NC37 right now because I've gotten a bit of sun. But because Cub is that beautiful warm rose gold shade, it never ever ever looks ashy. It just looks so pretty on the lid. They're pretty good at building up. You just have to make sure that between the layers you're letting them dry. Otherwise, the more you actually apply, it will just like pick up the existing layer that you've put on. So you just have to be mindful of that, just letting them dry, letting each layer dry before you apply more. The AC just kicked on because it's super warm. But I'm just going to put on a layer of Moon. I'm actually not gonna put a full layer. I'm just going to put it in kind of like the corner of my eye. I'm going to use this little like Real Techniques detailing brush. Just get it like right in the corner. Then we have the Lash Slick mascara. Now the more I use this mascara, the more I love it. And I think it's just because the formulation is really great. There's nothing really spectacular about the brush or how it like volumizes or lengthens my lashes. It's a very, very natural lash look. So it will really just enhance your existing lashes by like 30%. So for me, I have naturally short lashes. It's not like it makes me look like I have falsies on, but this formulation is great. And what I mean by that is it does not flake on me whatsoever. It lasts all day long. I don't have to worry about raccoon eyes. And I love that because so many mascaras, because I have such oily eyelids, will flake. No matter if it's $5 or $35, I just end up getting like a bit of, you know, raccoon eyes under my lash line. So this doesn't do that, so I gotta give it props to that. So I definitely would repurchase this once this one dries out. I always have to curl my lashes. This mascara also works really well on the bottom lashes because of the formulation. So I used to purchase the Clinique bottom lash mascara, just like a little tiny wand. It's like $15, I think. But I haven't had to purchase it or repurchase it because I've been able just to use this one on my bottom lash line. And it still gives my bottom lash line a bit of definition. And like I said, it doesn't smudge, which is awesome. So for my brows, we're obviously using the Boy Brow. And I like this, but again, not really super life-changing. I probably would repurchase it again though, but I still really enjoy the Essence Make Me Brow. And that one is only like $4. I am very excited to try the birthday Balm Dot Com because I've heard so many good things about it, just the Balm Dot Com range in general. And I'm excited about this one because like I said, it has like a bit of like shimmer to it, which I am super stoked about. I love a product with shimmer. This is a really thick balm. I thought it would definitely be a little bit more fluid, I guess. I don't know. Like it's definitely petrolatum based because like it just has that like really creamy, thick, almost like Vaseline consistency. It smells like birthday cake, which is really freaking awesome. Can you tell if my lips are shimmery? Oh, okay, I can see a bit of shimmer in there. That's cute, I like that. So last but not least is the Wowder. Now I like the Wowder, but I do not think it is anything special. I really am not a huge fan of the packaging, just in the sense that I can never tell if I have enough product. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I usually like to like tap the product onto the lid and then swirl my brush into the lid to distribute the product, and I can't do that because of this like huge stopper. So what I end up doing is I kind of just either pounce my brush like into the mesh to get some of the product and then swirl my brush around, or I will close the lid up a little, like do a couple of turns, shake it, and then as you can see there's like a bit of product that kind of lifted from the mesh, and then I swirl my brush in there and use that to distribute the product. I always use a brush like this, which is the Sephora Collection Pro Mini 55.5 brush. You can pick this up in store. This happens to be a freebie for hitting, unfortunately, Bruges this year. But I like these types of brushes because it just fits really nicely into the compact. It's great for just like pouncing the powder onto my T-zone. I don't apply powder all over the face. That is my full face of Glossier. What do you guys think of the makeup? It's definitely a natural looking makeup, which happens to be right up my alley. You guys know I'm not really like a full coverage, like full eye kind of person, but even if you are a full face kind of person, I still think you'd like some of these products. If I had to rate my favorite products right now, first one would definitely be the cloud paints. I just really love the cloud paints. I think they're so easy to use. There is a lot of different shades, so there's one for everyone. I love Dusk. I'm really excited to mix Dawn and Beam together because I think that would just be like a really beautiful like peachy color. Haze is also really great, and of course the new one, Storm. This is so pretty, and this is something that I know I'm definitely going to use a lot more in kind of the fall and winter. I also really love the Haloscopes. If you love a more subtle, dewy looking highlighter, you will love these too. And again, there's 3 shades, so there's probably a shade that you will like. I would probably pass on the Perfecting Skin Tint if you do even like kind of like a medium coverage, because it is very sheer, so it won't offer you a lot of coverage, but it does give, like I said, your face a really nice fresh finish. The stretch concealer I would recommend though. It's very comfortable under the eyes. I don't necessarily like it for any blemishes on my face, but for under the eyes, it's hydrating. It lasts pretty much most of the day, probably like 7 hours on me, and it's just like so easy to use and blend. This is definitely like you only have 5 minutes to get ready in the morning. You just like swipe it on, blend it really quickly, and you're like out the door. I love the Lash Slick. If you are used to more of like a falsies kind of look, this isn't for you, but if you like a natural mascara day, you'll like this, and the formulation is really nice. The lid stars definitely won't be for everyone, especially if you prefer like a matte eye look, but if you want just something really simple, you want a little shimmer on your lids, these are nice, and the formulation is nice too. For the most part, they don't crease on me. It really just depends on the oil production of my skin that day, which causes the creasing. I'm enjoying the Balm Dot Com. I probably won't purchase any more, but I am enjoying the subtle shimmer and the fact that this smells like birthday cake. The Wowder is not something I would really recommend. It's okay, but there's a lot of really great other loose setting powders out there. The Boy Brow I would recommend if you have maybe more sparse brows, if you really want like a really like, I wouldn't say bushy eyebrow, but if you want your hairs to really like stay in place and like be all fluffy, because this does have a slightly stronger hold than the Essence Make Me Brow. But if you're like me and your brows typically just like stay in place the way they are and they're fairly full already, then you might be disappointed in this because this is a very hyped up product. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and the concept of this video. So like a bit of online shopping and then like a get ready with me. I will have my referral link I will have my Glossier referral link below. And if it's your first time ordering from Glossier, you can get 10% off. And I believe I get $10 if you place an order using that link. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Let me know what other videos you would like to see from me, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.